I'm graduating from kindergarten in a little while, so I might be interrupted, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. This is another TVZ. Basically working on the principles of get a lot of money, get a lot of buildings. You want at least 7 to 12 buildings by 12 or 13 minutes. And then don't forget your upgrades. Don't forget to drop mules. I hope you've been using what are those called? Metronome to bing every minute so that you can remember to drop mules. And be aggressive. Don't get above 150 unit space without making a push. And then the last one was something else. I don't know. Oh yeah, splitting your damn Marines, because that's a really hard one. So looking at monies, I almost don't even have to look at monies anymore because you're so damn good at this, always keeping up 3 SCVs queued up. By the time you get to 10 minutes, you've got freaking 51 workers. This is amazing. This is the best you can possibly do, and you did a great job at doing it. You have a good wall in, though I dislike that you have no bunkers. Again, if you scouted that he has a million spines and decided not to make bunkers because he's clearly going to be defensive on 3 base, then that would make sense. But you haven't scouted him at all. He could be all-inning you, and if he all-ins you and you don't have bunkers, you lose. So, I don't know. It's up to you. It depends on how often you get all-inned, you know? If this never happens to you, then don't worry about it. But if you lose to all-ins a couple times in a row, you might start to say, you know what, maybe it's worth just having bunkers. So, big problem. You want to be starting the 3rd command center at 10 minutes because with 50 workers at 10 minutes, by the time it finishes at 12.5 minutes, you're already going to have 60-something workers. And 60 workers on 2 bases is just silly because 60 workers can't mine 2 bases effectively. I like that you're getting 16 workers up here and then putting everyone else down in your natural, because that allows, with soft cap saturation instead of hard cap saturation on your main, it allows your main not to run dry until 16 or 17 minutes instead of running dry at 15 minutes, which is what happens if you fully saturate it. But the problem is that lowers your time when you need to get your 3rd even further, right? Because the most you can squeeze into this base is 24. Like 20 is pretty close to hard cap saturation, and 24 is acceptably higher, but they're not really paying for themselves after that. And then having more than 24, this is 8 more than 24. That's just 8 workers that are basically idle. So getting this 3rd base becomes pretty important. I like that you made a Viking, but and you patrolled it around the map. This is good. This is what I like to do with my first Viking too. Just let him run around, kill overlords if you can find any. Always send the Marine first rather than the SCV first when you're trying to take an expansion. Always keep a Marine here, 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 a Marine here. You can take 1 Marine and patrol him between these 3 bases. And then 1 Marine and patrol him between these 3 bases. And the idea behind that is, you know, he's just going to die whenever the Zerg chooses for him to die. But the fact that the Zerg is willing to spare attention to kill a Marine off in the middle of nowhere usually means that something is going on. It usually means he's expanding there. And you want to see, and if he sends 1 Zergling to go deny your expansion, the Marine will just kill it. So that's good too. Anyway, as far as upgrades go, you have stim combat shields and +1/0, which is exactly what you want to be pushing out with in this first push. Your army size is pretty small, but not unbearably small, and it's big enough with these upgrades to be able to kill a lot of stuff, especially since your Zerg opponent is very Baneling heavy. So basically this all comes down to the split. When he's Baneling heavy, like, ooh, you got blue flame. That's interesting. I don't like that at all because you have only 1 Hellion. It seems like a massive waste of money to invest in blue flame. Hopefully you're going to lift this and land it on a reactor core later too, because having a tech lab, 1 tech lab factory in blue flame doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's a lot of money. Anyway, so as long as you get a great spread here, you're going to be like, you're going to trade ridiculously favorably. So what you want to do is exactly what you did. Look how good this spread is. And this is called the auto spread. When you right click on a hatchery, your Marines are going to automatically form this giant arc. So what you do is you right click on the hatchery, take these guys and spread them out just like you did, and now you just hold position so that they're going to stay still, and if there's no Zerglings near them, they're going to shoot the hatchery, and if there's Zerglings near them, they're going to shoot the Zerglings. So stim and hold position. I hope that you don't move. Don't move. Oh, don't move. No, don't move. So that's kind of clumping up here. This is beautiful. So look how well you traded in this engagement. Auto spread is one of the best ways to spread large groups of Marines. I love it. So you came out $1,000 ahead and killed the hatchery, and he has like no drones. He's completely army light. He's got way too many spines. You're just so far ahead right now in this game. But you didn't throw down the 10-minute command center. So what you want to do is be securing a third while that happens. And most Zergs will let you have this third. They're only going to try to deny this third, because they don't expect you to take this, and it's right next to the watchtower, so they know that if they send anyone over there, you're going to clean it up. So it's 13 minutes. You've got a ton of money in the bank, and you're not doing upgrades, and you're not adding additional buildings. Your worker count is ridiculously high. You cut workers because your worker count is just too high, and you don't have a third on the way. I feel like if that exact battle had happened, but you'd gotten this command center earlier, and you had the money all the way from 10 minutes on to get that command center. Maybe not 10 minutes on, but from like here on, you had the money to get that command center. Your money's never going to get below 400 again. So like if you'd been building a command center and taking your gold during the push, then it would definitely be up and there'd be nothing they could do about it, and you'd have these 67 workers on 3 bases, which would translate to a basically $2,800 income against your Zerg opponent's $1,200 income, and then you just basically win the whole game. So things that we've talked about in previous TVZs, you don't have enough buildings, right? At 12 to 13 minutes, you need to transition from this early 5-building economy into a 12-building economy. You don't have your third up, and you're not going to get your... okay, good. You're pushing out. This is the perfect time to land that third. Land that third. You never want to push out, lose your army, and then try to land the third, because then you have nothing to defend it with. You always want to land the third before or as you push out. And you really never want to attack into a Zerg's natural. You just want to starve him to death. Just let him have those 2 bases. Starve him to death. So you're getting this third instead of the good third. This is the good third. This is the protected fourth. You take this as a protected fourth behind your third. Again, you're pushing into his natural, just kind of suiciding into spines, and saying so close, even though it wasn't at all so close. So at 20 minutes, your main is completely dry, and you're still kind of working on securing this base. But now you're only mining from a couple patches over here and 2 patches over here. So you're still not on 3 bases. You still have 86 workers, which literally you need 4 bases just to make 86 workers worth having. And you're only mining on 1.5 bases. So you really need to be taking this base and this base and this base. You're just not aggressive enough with command centers. And especially when you're on 200 unit space, there's no reason not to just throw down a ton of command centers. So this came down to basically the same problem as you've had in all of these games, which is not enough. I mean, in one recent game you did a much better job, but you didn't go up to 12 buildings. You need to go up to 12 buildings after your 12 or 13 minutes. And you need more command centers, and you need to put them down. That's my kindergarten graduation, so let's fast forward to the end, see what happens, and then go. Hello? Hey. Okay, you're there. You won, good job, but it was still the same problems you always had were problems you had in this game, so that doesn't make me happy even though you won. Bye.